Hi, my name's Paul Cresswell. Welcome to Paul's Tackle Reviews. The normal purpose of this channel is to give you reviews of tackle that's been out on the bank, tried and tested by an unbiased, unsponsored angler, and that's me. And there are lots of videos on my channel now reviewing various bits of tackle. Today is slightly different. So many of you will have seen a video I did a few weeks ago when I tried a friend's X95 Preston Superior pole. It belonged to Paul Isaacs at Bitterwell Lake, and to be honest, he's a very bad man, because since that moment all I've been thinking is maybe I need to change my pole. So my current pole, and I've done a video review, I've had it over 3 years, is a Maver 921, and it has been an absolutely fantastic pole. Nothing's broken on it. I've pulled big fish out of weeds on it. I've used big elastics. It's super stiff, ship's great, and has brilliant top kits. But that pole was initially launched around 5 years ago, and things move on, and it's clear when I tried the X95 that there are still improvements being made. I'd also say to Maver, if they see this video, it does feel like those of us now who are using Maver poles with 22mm top kit, so all the signature 821, 921, various things, it does feel like we're a bit of a second-class citizen, because you seem to have moved on to the 18mm mandrel, and everything top end seems to be focused around the RXS and the RXX. So my kind of fishing is silvers through to carp. In summer I use a lot of 11 and 13 hybrid. I might use a 15 hybrid. I've used 17. I think in the last 12 months I used my pole at 16 meters once. So it's that kind of 14 meters downwards that I tend to fish. And generally I've tended to buy the pole below the flagship model. I think it offers better value. That slight increase of performance at 16 meters doesn't really matter to me. So I decided to go to a pole alley and have a really good look at these poles. And I've been to pole alleys before, but not like the one I went to this time. I went to Todber Manor, and it is a 2 hours either way drive, so it was quite a commitment. And I bought lots of poles blind before. I've seen reviews. I've maybe seen one on the bank. Occasionally I've had a pole, a handle of a pole, but I don't think you can beat having a good look at it. And what I did was I went to Todber to look at this pole, but look at other poles, and just to make sure this was as good as I thought it was going to be. The setup at Todber is excellent, and there's going to be a video coming soon where I'm going to show little excerpts of me testing various poles. First of all, it's got a really well-stocked shop, and then they have a separate pole alley in a separate building. It's nice and roomy. You'll see on the video, it's not one of these where it's barely 16 meters long and everything feels like it's around you. The guy said he was happy for me to video it. They've got a nice seat box for you to sit on. The guy comes with you and he gets the poles off the wall as you want, and then you can try them, and then you can add extensions or do whatever you want. They were very accommodating. I didn't feel there was any time pressure, and there was no limit on how many poles I could have a look at. So I decided to test the poles holding the 14.5 meter section, and yet that's probably somewhere around 14 meters or just under. But I don't really fish 16. To be honest, even the very best poles at 16 meters they do feel a little like hard work. So I thought this was a really good test. If they're good at that length, then they're going to be good at shorter lengths as well. I had to go with 5 poles. Now, no shop's going to have everything in stock, but they had a really good selection to enable me to look at 5 different brands that would give me some idea of what was what. So I went with the intention of my main intention being looking at the Preston X75 Superium, having tried the X95. I wanted to look at the Maver RXS Pro, the Shimano Aero X7, the Guru Aventus 700, and a Daiwa pole, and the one they had in was the Daiwa Arity Pro. And before you say, I know they're all different prices, we'll come on to that, but here's the video of me testing those poles. I hope you found that interesting. It's funny, when you sat holding the pole, they all look totally rigid. but when you get the camera at the side, it does foreshorten things, and it always makes them look like whatever pole, there's a bit of droop in it, but when you sat on the box, you don't feel that. So what's my verdict? Well, the X75 I went to look at, that is an absolutely stunning pole, and they're doing it for 1900 quid, and I was blown away by the stiffness, the finish, everything feels really solid. Additional kits are only 65 quid because of course I'm changing brand. I like to have lots of top kits, so that's quite a consideration for me, buying additional top kits and a short 4 or short 3 as they now are, and a long 3. And I picked up this pole and I thought, that is fantastic. I can see me buying this pole. And throughout this test, whenever I picked another one up, I then picked the X75 up to make sure I was given a good comparison. The second pole was the Maver RXS, and that's £2,500, so £600 more. It was really nice. I really liked it. It was almost as stiff as the X75, and I did keep putting them down and picking them up. It did just feel a little bit heavier, like there was more weight on my elbow. I then looked at the Aero X7. I've had lots of Shimano poles over the years. I've had Stradix, Ultegras, I've had an Aspire Pro. Right back in the day, I've had a Power Loop, a real soft spot for Shimano poles, and I picked that one up and it was really nice. It was better balanced than the RXS, and it was as stiff as the RXS, so just a tad down from the X75, but it was 3K, so we're making another leap up there. And their additional top kits are more expensive, and you don't get any rollers in them, so you've got all that to kind of think about. But that was a really nice pole. I then tried the Daiwa Erity Pro, and that's a £4,000 pole. So the X75 is 2, just under. This is a 4,000 pole. It wasn't as stiff as any of the other 3 that I tried. I didn't feel like the finish was as good. Certainly Daiwa have improved the finish over the years, but it didn't feel as good as some of the others. And again, the top kits are quite pricey, again without rollers as well. And that was a 4K pole. Then the last one I tried was the Guru 700, the Aventus pole. This is around £2,800, and it felt kind of similar stiffness to the Daiwa. Still super stiff poles, but not as stiff as the other 3. Again, the top kits are quite pricey, and it also felt really thick at the butt end as well. Those white painted sections just felt thicker. It was just a feeling I had when I was using it. So the guy there that was showing me, he said they are getting a lot of people coming in, and they've got a brand in mind, they've got a budget in mind, maybe 3K plus, and they're trying the X75 and they're walking out with it. Now, the X95 is better than the 75, but the 75 gives me everything I could possibly want. Even the 95 is a 3,300 pole. So if you're looking at the Daiwa Erity Pro, and all the Daiwa diehards will say, oh, well, it's easy to get all the sections. Well, you could have 2 X75s, which I think is a better pole, with all the top kits, and still have change out of 4K. I bought an extra long 3 that they got in stock, and a short 3, and I got a few more of the F1 long kits, which would have been the main ones that I use. And I spent £2,300. I did try it at 16 metres. Like I say, everything feels slightly heavier, 16 metres, but it still had terrific performance. So I'm just going to list all the things I like about this pole. Now, in a couple of months, I'll do a full kind of pole review, and I'll show you photos of all these little add-ons that I think Preston have got absolutely spot on. So I like the stiffness of the pole, the finish, it glides through your hands, even the painted sections. It felt super strong, and a mate of mine was on the bank the other day when I was fishing with it for the first time. He had a go and he said it feels absolutely rock solid, and he was really impressed by the performance. It's got a new kind of pole end cap on there, which you can use as a skid bung instead of those rubberized ones that can rot and can stick to your pole if you haven't used it for a bit. They're very nice. All the top kits have got 1-inch markers on them, nice touch. Roller pullers except the match kits, which I fully understand. And you get the standard roller puller on the F1 kits, and you get the XL version on the carp kits. Comes with a nice hard case, slightly bigger than my Maver. I'm going to try that, see whether I want to stick with the Maver or move over to that one. It has little nose cones on the 3, 4 and the 5 section already glued in place. They work great. It has a nice selection of bush sizes on each of the top kits, so you're not going to have problems with elastics and getting them through there. And it came with 2 cupping kits. Well, it came with one number 2 section and then 2 tip sections. One of them is for long kits, and then the other one is for the short, shallow kits that you can also get, and there is 2 within the package there. So I don't want to go on and on, because I want to come back and look at the pole in detail and give you some more info when I've been out on the bank. I've already been out once. Hopefully I'm out tomorrow. What I will say is, if you can, get into a pole alley is a big bonus. Todber setup is a brilliant setup. Obviously, ring them first to make sure they've got what you want in stock and what else you might want to compare it with. It's also there's a lovely cafe on site, and me and Graham went for lunch after we'd decided what we were doing, and then we also had a look round, and the lakes looked absolutely beautiful, really well maintained, lots of rushes. It's somewhere I'd love to fish. Unfortunately, it's 2 hours away. If you've got any questions, then put them down below, or any comments. If you want to give me a like or subscribe, I've got more stuff coming. I've got some elastic I've been trying, and I'm going to do that. I'm also going to do the follow-up video on the Matrix power transporter, the powered trolley that I've been using now for a couple of months. So that's coming really soon. Until next time, tight lines.